Hello, it's Shay Cherie. Welcome back to my channel. Thank you for tuning in. Today we are making this lovely 5-piece lock jewelry set. I have a couple of the pieces on the braids so you can see how they would be worn. This set is called Royal Mint. It comes with 3 dangle components and also 2 coil wires. And we're going to go over the supplies and materials needed, and I will show you how to make it. The supplies needed for this lock jewelry set are 2 10mm beads, 5 8mm beads. We have 4 6mm brass spacer beads. There are 2 triangle-faceted beads. Those are 6mm as well. 6mm brass round rings. These are circle charms, a leopard charm. These are technically ear cuffs, but since they're adjustable, I thought they would be perfect to use for lock jewelry. Jump rings, 3 pieces of wire, about 2.5 inches each, or if you have eye pins, those size, you can use those as well. And also 2 pieces of 12-inch wire. All of this wire is 20 gauge. We have a crochet hook, curved chain nose pliers, flush cut pliers, round nose pliers, chain nose pliers, and flat nose pliers. All right, let's get started. We are going to start with the coil piece, so you will need your 2 pieces of 12-inch wire. You'll take one wire and we'll start by making a loop at one end and then just keep looping it around to make a spiral. I usually put the wire at the tip of my round nose pliers so I can get the smallest inner circle as possible, and then keep wrapping that around. At this point, I usually grab my curved chain nose pliers so I can hold the loop steady and straight while I curve the wire onto itself and make the spiral. Okay, and I normally go until there's 4 layers from the start of the spiral to the base wire. Okay, from here, you're going to grab your crochet hook. This hook is 6mm in size. If you don't have a crochet hook, you can use a pencil, a pen, or something that simulates the size of your braids or locks. So I put the coil onto the crochet hook. I hold it in place with the rest of the wire coming at an angle so it'll be easier to wrap. And you'll just wrap it around. And as you're wrapping it, you want to try to make your spacing even. If you want, you can do tight coils or you can do wider coils, but also after you're finished, you can adjust the size of it as well by pushing it together or pulling it apart, and I'll show you when we finish. And as you get near the end, you want to make sure you leave enough room to do the same coil on the other side. This, I don't actually measure it, but this is about 2.5 inches. And I will start by making my loop on the other side. You can leave your coil on the crochet hook, or you can take it off if that's easier for you to wrap it around. So it's going to be slightly bigger than the 4 rungs I usually use, but that's okay. It's not a sizable difference because it's not enough here to completely wrap it around again. So we're just going to have one side with a slightly bigger coil, which is totally fine. So then after I do that, I put it back on the crochet hook and then just adjust it with my hands as I go, twisting it, just making sure. You want to try to keep it so that they're lined up. If you want, you can push these closer together for a tighter curl, or you can space them apart. I like them like that. All right, so there is one coil finished, and I'll make the next one. Our 2 coils are finished, and now we will move on to the dangle components. With the dangle components, we are going to be using our 2.5-inch pieces of wire, or if you have your eye pins, you can use those, but I will be making my own eye pins. So we're going to start with these 2 outer pieces. These are both the same, and then this piece stands alone. So I like to, with the chain nose pliers, I fold down one end of my wire, and then I take my round nose pliers and curl it back in the opposite direction that I bent it to make my loop. I don't really measure it. It's up to you in terms of what size loop you might want, big or small. You'll notice I usually start with my loop down the pliers, and then as I make the loop tighter, I move the pliers out of the loop to close it in a little tighter, if that made sense. So here is our loop. Actually, I'm going to open that up a little bit, because while we're at that stage, I'm going to go ahead and slide on one of the round charms. Or if you want, after you put the beads on, then you can open it back up and do the charms. I just figured I'd do it now. And you want to make sure you close that up and straighten it out so that your charm does not come off. So we'll take a brass spacer bead, 8mm bead, a triangle-faceted bead, another 8mm bead, and as always, you can use your own color choices, your own size choices. If you want bigger beads or larger beads, these are actually a little big. I probably wouldn't go bigger than this because you don't want it to weigh your hair down too much. But yeah, you can use whatever size and color beads that you would like when you're making this set, or any Loc Jewelry set. So once you're finished putting your beads on, you're going to fold over the wire as close as you can to the top bead, and then cut off excess. I eyeball it, just making sure I leave enough room to do my top loop. I'm going to curve this back on itself, back in the opposite direction. Top loop. So there's one piece done, and I will make the next one. those two pieces are finished, and we're going to make the third and final piece. And this is the piece that is differentiated from those two and has the leopard charm on it. Make your loop to hang the charm from. And I already have a jump ring on my charm, so I'm just going to attach that to the wire before I close it up all the way. Make sure that is closed tight. This pattern is the 10mm bead, the round ring, 8mm ring, and 10mm. And same process, fold over your excess, cut it off, and leave enough space to make your top loop. From here we can attach well, they're technically ear cuffs, but we're going to attach these, which will hang on to your actual hair. And we'll just use your jump rings to attach those. I like to put my jump ring on the cuff first and then add the component to it. It just makes it easier to maneuver. Close that back up tight. You don't want anything falling off. Alright, so here is our 5-piece Loc Jewelry set. We've got our 3 beaded components, and then we also have the spiral wire coils that you can wear again in braids or locks, however you desire it. If you try to make this, please let me know. Please send me a picture or tag me on it. These are available on my website at shaycherie.com. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them down below. And don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.